Guys, today I'm going to discuss chi-square test. So chi-square test is a non-parametric test. So basically this test is based, or we applied this test for hypothesis we assume for our problem, and this test is not useful for estimation. And there are some other points I will discuss, how this test is performed and what are the characteristics of this test. So here are some important terms regarding this chi-square test. So first one is parametric test and non-parametric test and hypothesis and other terms. I will discuss in detail what are these terms. So parametric test. So basically this test in which the population constants like mean, standard deviation, standard error, correlation, coefficient, population, etc. and data tends to follow one assumed or established distribution such as normal distribution, binomial, Poisson, or any other one. So in that category we used parametric test. So in non-parametric test we use no constant in this test. So data do not follow any specific distribution and no assumptions, like here we don't follow any assumptions, no distribution like normal, exponential, and Poisson. So we just allocate arbitrary numbers or marks to each category and we perform this type of test. So third point is what are the hypotheses. So basically it is a defined statement about a population parameter. We define that, we assume that we are going to solve our problem in that standard. That is our hypothesis. Then null hypothesis. And so null hypothesis, basically this states that no association exists between the two cross tabled variable in the population and therefore the variables are statically independent. So I will discuss by one example. So if we want to compare two methods A and B, so for this, if the assumption is that both methods are equally good, then this assumption is called as a null hypothesis. So this is null hypothesis is basically nothing, our assumptions. And the next one, so next one is alternative hypothesis. In this this states that the two variables are related in the population. If we assume that from two methods, method A is superior than method B, then this assumption is called alternative hypothesis. Generally we denote this by this H1 and our null hypothesis by H0. Okay. Then degree of freedom. So degree of freedom basically is the extent of freedom. So given in the set of observations, we call this as a degree of freedom. So we have some formula to calculate this degree of freedom, equal to number of frequencies we have taken and number of independent constant on that particular standard we have taken. And the next one is, this is a contingency table. So contingency table is basically prepared by predefined some values by taking some frequencies and some constant, and we prepared some table, and this is a predefined table we use to check our calculated result with this predefined table is lies in which range or others things. So now I am going to discuss what is chi-square distribution, basically which types of curve we will get on applying a different degree of freedom. So basically if we take x1, x2, xn are independent normal variate and each is distributed normally with mean 0 and standard derivation unity, then the xy of each individual is equal to summation of xi square is distributed as chi-square with n degree of freedom, where n is larger. So I have taken chi-square test for different degree of freedoms. For degree of freedom 1 we will get this curve, and for degree of freedom 5 we will get something this, and for degree of freedom is equal to 9 we will get something curve like this one. So here basically y-axis shows that probability of given parameter, and the x-axis shows that the chi-square distribution, like 0 to 5, then 10, then 15, then 13. Here we can see when degree of freedom is 1, then we will get a curve like this one, exponential curve we will receive here. And when degree of freedom is like this one, then this curve is something bell shaped curve like we will get. And in degree of freedom when 9, then we will receive something more sharper curve in bell shaped form. So this how chi-square distribution give us different graphs regarding degree of freedoms. And now I am going to discuss what are the applications of chi-square test. So basically this test is used in goodness of fit of distribution, and this test is also used to check the independence of attributes, and this test is for homogeneity in our data we are using. So these are the application areas. In next video I will discuss by one example how we can apply this test in our given data to check our hypothesis is null hypothesis is acceptable or not. So thank you guys.